Chief Olusegun Matthew Okikiola Ogunboye Aremu Obasanjo is a Nigerian general and statesman who served as Nigerian head of state from 1976 to 1979 and later as its president from 1999 to 2007. Born in the village of Ibogun, Olaogun, to a farming family of Owu branch of Yoruba, Obasanjo was educated largely in Abeokuta, Ogun State. His later passport gave his date of birth as 5th March 1937, although this was a later estimate with no other surviving contemporary records. His father was Amos Adigun Obaluayesanjo Bankole, and his mother was Bernice Ashabi Bankole. Being the first of 9 children, only he and his sister Adunni Oluwole Obasanjo survived childhood. He got involved in farming duties and agricultural labor until age 11 when he joined the village primary school, and after 3 years he moved to Baptist Boys High School in Abeokuta in southwest Nigeria and later worked as a teacher. It was at secondary school that Obasanjo rejected his forename of Matthew as an anti-colonial act. Unable to afford college, he joined the Nigerian army and specialized in engineering and was assigned to the Congo, Britain and India, rising to the rank of a major. Obasanjo rose quickly through the Nigerian army ranks. During the Biafra conflict of 1967 to 1970, he was appointed to head a commando division that was stationed at the Biafran front in southeastern Nigeria. The conflict ended when Biafran forces surrendered to him in January 1970. In 1975, Brigadier General Murtala Ramat Mohammed replaced General Yakubu Gowon, the military head of state at the time, but announced that he would relinquish power to civilian rule by 1979. The following year, Mohammed was assassinated during an unsuccessful coup attempt and leadership passed to Obasanjo, his deputy. During the 3 years he headed the government, Obasanjo emerged as an important African statesman and established ties with the United States. Obasanjo followed his predecessor's timetable for a return to civilian rule and did not run for president when elections were held in 1979. Voting was extremely close, but Nigeria's Federal Electoral Commission declared Shehu Shagari from the north the winner of the strongest opponent from the south, Obafemi Awolowo, who was a Yoruba. The results were condemned by most Obasanjo's fellow Yorubas as well as others over allegations that the election had been rigged, but the outcome was upheld by the Supreme Court and Obasanjo gained the respect of the Hausa Fulani leaders in the north for handing over power to Shagari. Over the next several years, Obasanjo's international profile rose considerably as he held various positions in the United Nations and other organizations. As vocal critic of General Sani Abacha, who seized control of Nigeria in 1993 and established a repressive military government, Obasanjo was imprisoned in 1995 for allegedly organizing a coup against Abacha. Following Abacha's death in 1998, Obasanjo was released. After the interim military leader, General Abdulsalam Abubakar, pledged to hold democratic elections, Obasanjo announced his intention to run for president as the candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). He was declared the winner of the 1999 election, acquiring 63% of the vote. There were widespread reports of fraud. However, the results were strongly criticized by many, particularly the Yoruba, who had largely supported Olufalaye, Obasanjo's opponent. Being Nigeria's first civilian leader in 15 years, Obasanjo sought to alleviate poverty, reduce government corruption, and establish a democratic system. He also pledged to reform the military and the police. Religious and ethnic strife became his central concern during his presidency, as incidents of violence mounted and as most Muslim-dominated states in the north and center of the country adopted Sharia law. Obasanjo's harsh response to ethnic strife in the south earned condemnation. Indeed, his overall authoritative style, the corruption that was still evident among government officials, and a strong challenger, Muhammadu Buhari, a northerner who was the former general and a former military head of state, were among the reasons that Obasanjo faced a shrinking power base heading into the 2023 presidential election. Despite receiving the pragmatic support of leading Yoruba politicians this time around. Still, Obasanjo was elected to his second term in April 2003, winning more than 60% of the votes cast. But as with previous elections, there were widespread reports of voting irregularities and allegations of fraud. In 2006, Obasanjo came under domestic and international criticism for attempting to amend the constitution to allow him stand for a third term as president. The proposed amendment was rejected by the Senate later that year. With Obasanjo unable to run, Umaru Yar'Adua was elected to stand as the PDP's candidate in April 2007 presidential election. He was declared the winner, but international observers strongly condemned the election as being marred by voting irregularities and fraud. Nonetheless, Yar'Adua succeeded Obasanjo and was sworn in May 29, 2007. Obasanjo has played a pivotal role in the regeneration and repositioning of the African Union, including helping to establish the new Partnership for Africa's Development, the PAD, and the African Peer Review Mechanism designed to promote democracy and good governance. He is a strong advocate for food security, agribusiness, empowerment of youth and women as demonstrated by his engagement as founder of the Nigerian Zero Hunger Project. Obasanjo chairs the selection committee of the African Food Prize that rewards individuals who have positively contributed to making African farms more productive, profitable, and resilient. He introduced the National Pledge to stoke up Nigerian nationalism and indigenize the lyrics of the national anthem. He set up the Constitution Drafting Committee and the Constituent Assembly, introduced the 20 naira currency in honor of his friend and predecessor, the late General Murtala Muhammad, and also introduced the controversial Land Use Decree on March 29, 1978. General Olusegun Obasanjo also confirmed the movement of the federal capital from Lagos to Abuja in accordance with the Murtala Obasanjo policy program. When Obasanjo was last in office, he gained international respect through his efforts to end white minority rule in South Africa and Zimbabwe, supporting neighboring states such as Angola and Mozambique. After relinquishing power, Obasanjo retired to his second home at Ota, outside Abeokuta, where he enjoyed his image as a man of the people. During this period, he continued to boost his international standing by writing books, joining the Commonwealth Eminent Persons Group, founding the African Leaders Forum, and accepting places on numerous international commissions. After coming out of jail in June 1998, he also published The Guide to Effective Prayer, The Animal Called Man, and A Woman of Virtue in 1999. Later in 2002, he published his memoir titled Sermons from Prison. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has been described by many as the father of modern Nigeria due to his contribution to national development during his two-termed tenure.